What's up, everybody? Welcome back and happy Tuesday. I hope everyone had a great Labor Day weekend. I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers, bringing you your daily hail forecast. Sponsored as always by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, American Contractor, and Atlas. And they're linked there for you in the description to this video. So go ahead and check out our wonderful sponsors and the good work that they do. Today we are getting into the chance for hail across pretty much Duluth, Minneapolis, and then down through parts of the Mississippi Valley and the plains as well. It's pretty long risk, so we'll talk about what we're getting into today, as well as severe wind and potential tornado chances. Into tomorrow, that same risk is going to shift off to the east, and we could possibly see some storms through the Ohio Valley, possible hail, possible wind as well. So getting into all that, and then of course the tropics, talking about some disturbances that we have on the horizon, as well as the latest tropical depression that just formed a little bit ago. So getting into all sorts of good weather info here, but before we start the forecast, come check us out at our next tailgate. The last one versus Arkansas State was a great success for OU and also our tailgate. We saw a lot of you guys out there. It was really fun. And we'll have another one this weekend. Now we're playing SMU on September 9th, so it's going to be Saturday. And the tailgate starts at 3 p.m., so kickoff is at 5 p.m. And we'll have the game on for you guys. We have free food, free beer, good company. So if you like football and you like hail trays, come see us at that tailgate. Should be a good time. So I'm going to start you guys off real quick this week with just a look at the future jet stream here coming up at us for this week. So right now, this trough is what's fueling our storms out in the upper Midwest. That's going to push off to the east, so there it is by around 6 p.m. here. Storms should be rolling up that way by around this time. And then we'll have a cold front swinging off of that as well, so it could spark some storms out through, again, the Mississippi Valley area as well as parts of the lower plains. Then that's going to pretty much move off to the east, and we'll see this ridge start to build back up in the western U.S. So probably more heat through there, staying pretty dry, and those rain and storm chances are going to lift up and over that for the next little bit here. So watching that into the later part of this week. But into the right now, we've got some good cloud cover through a lot of the central U.S. Looks like we got one radar that's kind of doing its thing right in the middle of Kansas there. But the rest of them picking up all this nice cloud cover and some rain, keeping us cool through parts of the upper Midwest and bringing on those storm chances later. This guy is going to be continuing to develop as it lifts up to the northeast. And then it should spread those storms down through Minneapolis, parts of Iowa, etc., into later on this afternoon and evening. So watching that. And then we have more down through like Missouri, Oklahoma, parts of Texas. We'll see these storms pick up a little bit into this afternoon as well. Potential to get some severe hail, but mostly wind, and it's going to be very short-lived through that area. So watching all that into right now. And it's, again, this trough is fortunately keeping us pretty cool. If you're in the upper parts of the Midwest, the North Plains, that rain and that cloud cover is keeping us from getting those crazy oppressive temperatures like we're seeing down south. 96 degrees right now in Houston, only 90 in Miami, not bad for you guys, and sitting in the mid-80s for a lot of the rest of the eastern U.S. into today. So for dew points, we're going to be seeing 50s and 60s across the whole eastern part of the U.S. right now. There's where that trough is coming through, keeping things dry out there, and then the Rocky Mountains are doing their thing out west, but the rest of us are feeling back to muggy after the Labor Day weekend, and so we're going to see more of that in the future here. So for our significant hail chances, based on that heat, we got the humidity, and we got the forcing from that upper level trough, so all of that is coming together to give us a nice little pocket of potentially larger hail up through Minneapolis, Duluth area by around 5 p.m. when storms should be forming. And then a second little area here through Missouri where storms could potentially kind of run down off of that cold front and get us some larger hail through parts of, again, potentially Missouri, but it's going to be pretty rural and very short-lived. So there's what we got for your significant hail potential. Based on all that, I think today we could potentially see up to 2-inch hail. 2 inches is going to be pretty few and far between. It's going to be mostly quarters and up to golf balls based on storm mode that we're watching right now. But you know, up to 2-inch hail, maybe with some of the stronger storms. So there goes that kind of system off eastward into Minnesota and into Wisconsin. Got some storms forming off of that by around 5 p.m. As those track into the Duluth, Minneapolis area, we will see a potential for, again, more storms to form. Where anything stays isolated, that's where we'll have that hail threat. And then tracking up into, you know, eastern Minnesota, we'll have this complex start forming, and that's not great for anything large hail-wise. But we'll see that go off to the east, moving through Minneapolis first, and then Duluth around 9 p.m. Potential to see some small hail as well as wind tracking through there, and then pushing all the way off to the east through the overnight hours with that complex of storms, and then we'll see more through the Ohio Valley into your Wednesday. Then down south through the Mississippi Valley and Plains here, we got this line that kind of drags off that cold front there. Anything up north here has a potential to get going a little better. Got some stronger forcing up that way. So potentially seeing some larger hail off of that, and then some scattered hail and high winds off of those little showers that pop up through pretty much the 44 area down through Tulsa, Joplin, Oklahoma City, etc. That's going to kind of sink down to the southeast through the overnight, so gets us some rain. We need that. Cool us off a little bit for tomorrow morning, and then we're just back to the heat. So for your hail forecast for today, potential to see, again, up to golf balls through that whole area there, all the way from the Canada border down into northern Missouri, and then potential to see some quarters after that down south. So best chances for hail and wind is going to be out through Minneapolis and Duluth, where we got the bulk of that complex moving through. So moderate chance for you guys. Low end if you guys are a little bit further east or a little bit further south than that. So if you guys are in St. Louis, all the way down into Wichita Falls as well, going to be a very low end chance to see maybe some quarters with those popcorny storms that ride through Joplin, Tulsa, OKC, etc. off into tonight through the overnight. Then for wind, a little bit better chance at seeing some high winds with those storms. We're going to get that complex tracking through Minneapolis, into Duluth, into western Wisconsin, seeing some high winds through those, and then should taper off by the time it gets out to like Green Bay, Chicago. But then a better chance again with those storms through central Missouri to see some higher winds through there as well. So Joplin, St. Louis, you got a moderate for you. Low end for everybody else. And then tornadoes, it's really going to be centered near, that trough where we have the best spin going on. So it's going to be, again, the Minneapolis Duluth show for tornadoes in today, but even that is going to be very low end in the probabilities. So into tomorrow, that whole system is going to track off to the east. We'll see it kind of fizzle out in the morning, and then a second line forming by around 6 p.m. Central, 7 Eastern. And it's going to be kind of like the Oklahoma and Texas risk for today, where it's just very few and far between. Popcorny storms through that area. Potential high winds, and we could get some hail with the storms that sink down south through Arkansas and parts of Tennessee. So tomorrow should be pretty scattered for everything, but we still have a hail and wind chance for you nonetheless. Starting out with hail, again, it's going to be kind of this little highlighted area here. Just quarters expected through the region, Nashville into Memphis, and just south of Paducah, kind of that area is where we're looking at for hail into tomorrow. And then for wind, now that's going to be all the way from Michigan down south into that area with, again, that kind of brief line of storms that forms in the late evening or in the late afternoon, early evening hours, whatever 6 to 7 p.m. is that you would consider. So Lansing all the way down south into Nashville, and then a little bit further west into Memphis could potentially see the high wind risk into tomorrow with those storms passing through. Then looking at temperatures, guys, so this is going to be our cool off for the week. We got that little cold front tracking through. Then into tomorrow, we've got, again, some nice residual cool air through Minnesota all the way into the central plains, but looking at the 80s and 90s by noon down south. Nothing unusual for this time of year, honestly, but then into Thursday, pretty much looking the same. We'll see that Ohio Valley risk kind of cool us off up in that area, and then we're back to the heat. There we are on Friday afternoon, seeing nice warm temperatures, again, only by noon, expected to be in the upper 90s through a lot of the southern plains, and, again, we're back to it on Saturday, still looking pretty hot. So hopefully we can get kind of the big cool down for fall coming eventually, but right now it's staying pretty hot with this pattern, with that ridge that's kind of setting up over the southern and southwestern U.S. So that's what we got inland. Then out in the Atlantic. So we got this guy. 30% chance for formation over the next 2 days as it finishes making its way away from land. Then 70% chance of formation as it tracks up to the west-northwest here over the next 7 days. So watching this for potential formation. This one, however, has already formed. This is now Tropical Depression 13, and it's got a real nice shape there in the central Atlantic. So already, again, 100% chance for the next 2 to 7 days, and we'll update you guys on the track as it potentially heads towards the Caribbean. We'll let you guys know what that track looks like into tomorrow's forecast. So that's all we have for you guys for today. Go ahead and follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Actually, it's not Twitter anymore, it's X or something. Go ahead and follow us on the social media. We're on everything at Hail Trace, so we're easy to find, and we got a lot of good weather info, as well as some roofing and contracting stuff for you guys available on our media pages. So go ahead and follow us. And then if you want to get in contact with us, you can go ahead and scan the QR code up above me or click the link in the description to this video to go ahead and get info about and access to our products. Or give us a call at 855-334-4245. Email us at info@hailtrace.com or check out hailtrace.com for more details. And we'll be back tomorrow at noon Central for all of you guys' updated hail and wind and everything forecast information. But for now, I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers. Thanks for watching.